Okay, hi everyone. So I'm recording my next videos in my series of payroll reporting, and this one is around the payroll reconciliation report. And so I'm using a US example here, and you can see the transaction code here on the right side. If you haven't seen it, I have a playlist of other reporting tools in SAP that includes like the payroll journal, wage chart reporter, as well as like our EpiUse Labs query manager and some things possible there. With payroll reconciliation report, the use case I'm going to focus on today is specifically around taxation. And the reason you might wonder, well, hey, you showed that previous video, why do you need a separate report for that? Well, taxes are a little bit different in the US, other places as well. But in the US, you can have the same wage type, in this case says withholding, but you have different jurisdictions, right? So you could have withholding taxes at the federal level, the state level, and the local level as well. And so I'm running this for a specific payroll period for a pay group or payroll area of US, which I've used in my other videos. I want the withholding taxes, but then I also want to pull other things like, hey, give me the year to date, quarter to date, month to date amounts, because oftentimes you care about that. And then I've already built a layout for this. So if I click execute on this, you'll see that it comes up pretty quickly. Obviously, I have a smaller population in my demo system. At the top, you can see the very first line is Fed, so that would be the biggest amount because everyone pays the federal withholding taxes. And then I have the state-specific ones over here, actually one here at the bottom for Colorado. And then these four character ones are local tax jurisdictions that are defined in the system. And so if you look at it, I'm able to see that this is withholding, this is for federal government, this is the current period and the date we're kind of looking at here. And then you can see the current period. So period 14, which is from 7/16 to 7/31. You can see the amounts here, including the summed up values. And then if you take a look at this, you can also see the month to date values, which if you look at it would include the first period of July. So that's why this is, roughly double, maybe a little bit more than that. And so that makes sense for a month to date. Quarter to date and month to date look to be the same, and that's because we just started the quarter in July. So that also makes sense. And then my year to date is going to be from the beginning of the year, January 1st. And as you would expect, this is a much bigger value. So I'm able to get this high level information and kind of understand, okay, how much withholding have we paid, or excuse me, have we taken from employees' pay for these different jurisdictions, and I can see that in here. Now, just like I did with my other video, I'm going to come in here and I've saved a different variation of employee level details. So report is actually pretty much the same. One of the things I changed is reportable fields. I added personnel number here, and then I actually played with the variant over here too, right? So actually it should be this Imran detailed ones. And so now this actually would let me reconcile this a little bit more. So I can run this and now get the details of, okay, what makes up that amount that I had there. And so you can see this report looks a little different, but what I can see here is this is my California tax authority. And then here's my individual person. And you can see the individual person's current period amount in month to date. Cool thing about this particular layout, if I scroll down, is at the end of each jurisdiction, you're also able to see the summed up amount here, 7,204 for California. If I go back to Fed, obviously these are bigger amounts, and so I can scroll down here and see. This is for my full population, so I'll get the full list of people in my payroll area that I can see for this. And for Fed, 105, 294, 12, which lines up. And then if I want to go to the very bottom, I can see that I have the total amount here, which is inclusive of everything I've kind of shown. And you can see the little dots, and this is the total summed up amount here. So this allows me to get the micro level details of tax authority for a specific taxation down to the employee level details at a current period amount, month to date amount, quarterly date amount, and year to date amount. And so I'm able to pull this from a single report. I also do have the option to download this to Excel. I know people love working with Excel, and so yeah, I do have that option as well. So this is the Payroll Reconciliation Report, another powerful standard report that allows you to kind of view things. And if you look at the selection screen, there's a lot of options here that, obviously I only covered a few use cases, but you can do quite a bit here. All right, thanks for watching. Check out the full playlist of my payroll reporting, and then like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.